All right, let's dive into a real revolution that's happening right now. We're talking about the massive, fast-moving, and honestly, just fascinating transformation of retail in India. This is a market that isn't just growing, it's completely rewriting the rulebook of how we shop. So, let's kick things off with a number that's almost hard to wrap your head around. By 2034, India's retail market is projected to be worth over 190 trillion rupees. I mean, think about that for a second. That's bigger than the entire economy of most countries. This kind of colossal opportunity is, you guessed it, attracting attention from every corner of the globe. But what's really lighting the fire here? To really get this, we're going to break it down into 5 key parts. First, we'll look at the gold rush itself. Then we'll meet the new Indian shopper who's really running the show. We'll check out the absolute magic of these huge online festivals, give a shout out to the homegrown heroes, and finally, we'll take a peek into what's next, the phygital future of it all. Okay, first up, the retail gold rush. And this isn't just about the market getting bigger. No, this is a fundamental economic shift, and it's being powered from the inside, right from the heart of India.
You know, the best way to think about the Indian retail market is like a kaleidoscope. Every time you turn it, the patterns shift. It's this mesmerizing mix of consumers, technology, and tradition, all constantly rearranging into something new and beautiful. For brands, the real trick isn't just to watch, but to actually understand and adapt to this wild, ever-changing landscape.
So what's the secret sauce behind this crazy growth? Well, it's really this powerful mix of a few key things happening all at once. India is basically fueling its own growth with super strong domestic consumption. You've got a booming middle class with more cash to spend, and then there's this massive digitally native Gen Z population that's setting all the new trends. It's the perfect storm for a retail revolution, and it's supercharging that big move from the little corner shops to modern, organized retail.
And that brings us to the real hero of this whole story, the new Indian shopper. You know, for decades, the retail world was totally obsessed with the big metro cities. But today, the real action, the real growth is happening in what we call Bharat, the heartland of India, made up of thousands of smaller towns and cities all across the country.
And if you need proof, here it is. Just look at Amazon, one of the biggest players in the game. A massive 65% of their orders are now coming from these Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Just let that sink in for a minute. That old story about e-commerce being a big city thing? Yeah, it's officially a myth. The engine of growth has totally shifted to the heart of India.
And get this, it's not just about buying the basics. The Bharat consumer is aspirational, and they're ready to spend. On Amazon, over 70% of premium smartphones and nearly 80% of large-screen TVs are sold outside the big metros. The desire for quality, for premium brands, it's not a big city thing anymore. It's a nationwide movement.
This really tells the tale of two Indias and two totally different game plans. On one side, you've got a player like Amazon, focused on the India of big cities, pushing prime, speed, and premium goods. But on the other side, you have Snapdeal, which has brilliantly shifted its focus to serve that Bharat consumer. For them, it's all about value-conscious fashion, huge variety, and a fair price. It just proves there isn't one single Indian market. There are many, and each one wants something different.
Okay, now let's talk about what is basically the Super Bowl of Indian retail, the annual festive sales. These aren't just shopping events. They are full-blown national phenomena. They perfectly capture the crazy energy of this digital gold rush. And to see just how massive they are, we've got to look at Amazon's Great Indian Festival.
Just look at these numbers. They're insane. In just the first 48 hours of the festival, we're talking 110 million customer visits. Prime members are shopping at a rate 8 times higher than normal. And small businesses, they're selling over 1,500 products every single minute. It's a whirlwind of commerce on a scale that's just hard to imagine.
But here's the real story behind those huge numbers. This isn't just a win for the e-commerce giants. It's literally a life-changing event for thousands of small and medium businesses all over India. In just the first 2 days of the sale, over 8,000 sellers made more than 1 lakh rupees. For many of them, that was a first. This is what digital inclusion actually looks like, empowering entrepreneurs and transforming lives. And this wave of empowerment has created a whole new generation of retail rock stars, the homegrown, direct-to-consumer or D2C brands. These are the scrappy, digital-first underdogs who are taking on the global Goliaths and winning the hearts of Indian consumers. So what's their secret weapon? Well, they're playing by a whole new set of rules, one designed for the modern Indian shopper. They're not just mobile-first, they're mobile-obsessed. They don't just sell you stuff, they build these passionate communities on social media. They don't just run ads, they partner with real, authentic influencers that their audience actually trusts. And at the heart of it all, they deliver high-quality, relevant products at a great value. They're fast, they're smart, and they're incredibly agile.
Let's put a spotlight on a few of these D2C superstars. First up, Boat. They started out simple, make great audio affordable for everyone. Today, they are a dominant force in electronics with this massive cult following, especially among young people. They are a perfect example of made in India for the world.
Next, you've got Mama Earth. This brand is perfectly riding that global wave of conscious consumerism. They've built a unicorn-level business by offering toxin-free, natural personal care products that really connect with a generation that cares deeply about what they put on their bodies and how it affects the planet.
And D2C isn't just for fashion and electronics. It's shaking up even the most traditional industries. Take Licious, for example. They created a trusted farm-to-fork brand for fresh meat and seafood. They solved a huge problem for Indian consumers, the lack of quality, hygiene, and convenience you'd find in the traditional market.
And finally, in this super competitive world of beauty, you have Sugar Cosmetics. Their massive success comes from doing something many global brands just couldn't figure out, creating high-performance, cruelty-free makeup specifically designed for Indian skin tones and our climate. It's a brilliant lesson in how understanding local needs can lead to incredible things.
So you've got this booming online world on one hand and a really resilient offline world on the other. What happens when these two worlds finally collide? Well, you get a glimpse into the future of Indian retail, a future that isn't just physical or just digital, but phygital.
So what exactly is this phygital world? Well, it's all about seamlessly blending the physical and digital to create a genuinely immersive experience. Imagine this. You're browsing for a new shirt on an app, then you go try it on in a real store, and then you have it delivered right to your house. Or maybe you're in a store, and you use a QR code to instantly pull up product reviews. It's about taking the best of both worlds to make shopping more personal, convenient, and honestly, just more fun.
And for the businesses that actually nail this phygital future, the rewards are huge. We're talking about a dramatic increase in customer loyalty, like retaining up to 90% of their customers. And these loyal customers, they don't just stick around, they shop way more often. Plus, by turning their physical stores into mini fulfillment centers, businesses can get online orders out the door faster and more efficiently. It's a total win-win.
But at the end of the day, the future of retail isn't just about cool tech. It's about how we use that tech to create more human, more meaningful connections. This quote from an industry leader really says it all. The winners will be those who transform data into human connection. The brands that win aren't going to be the ones with the slickest app, but the ones who build experiences that earn our trust and create real, lasting loyalty.
And so that leaves us with the ultimate question. In this massive, constantly shifting retail kaleidoscope where the lines between online and offline are basically disappearing, who's going to win? Will it be the global giants with their endless resources? The quick and nimble homegrown brands who just get the Indian consumer? Or maybe the traditional retailers who successfully reinvent themselves for this new phygital age? The race is on, and the future of Indian retail is anyone's game.